In this video, I'm going to be discussing the updated eviction rules under the Los Angeles County Eviction Moratorium, in particular, how it relates to denial of entry. First, a disclaimer, the laws do change from time to time and are open to interpretation. Please don't consider this to be legal advice, and you should contact your own legal counsel before making any type of decision on what to do with respect to your tenant. I've been representing the needs of landlords since 2004. I'm a published author and a referral source for realtors, landlords, and other attorneys. Alright, let's talk about what this video will do. It will provide a brief summary of the LA County rules regarding denial of entry, and it's also going to outline California law generally as it relates to entering a tenant's rental unit. It's outlined in Civil Code 1954. This video is not going to be an exhaustive discussion of California landlord law, nor is it going to discuss a full discussion of the LA County Eviction Moratorium. Okay, so the general California law that governs and outlines when and under what circumstances a landlord may enter a rental unit is Civil Code 1954. The most common reasons that a landlord can enter under Civil Code 1954 is 1, in the event of an emergency, 2, to make necessary or agreed repairs or alterations to the property, or 3, when the tenant has abandoned or surrendered the property. If you search online for Civil Code 1954, which is a good idea for you to do, you'll be able to read the law as it does outline and provide pretty good information on how that works for entering a residential rental property that's currently occupied by a tenant. Under normal scenarios, 24-hour notice would be the amount of time a landlord would want to give a tenant. 6 days if the landlord decides to mail notice to the tenant rather than post a copy on the door. Entry should be during normal business hours. The written notice shall include the date, approximate time, and the purpose of the entry. And of course, the landlord may not abuse the right of access or harass the tenant. What recently changed under the terms of the LA County Eviction Moratorium is that as of June 1st, we've entered into Phase 2. Phase 2 of the LA County Eviction Moratorium is from June 1st, 2022 through the end of the year, meaning a landlord can evict a tenant who denies access to the property so long as the reason for entry is a lawful reason, and we outlined just a moment ago what those lawful reasons are. And the landlord cannot harass the tenant. So the landlord can't use the entry rules simply to harass the tenant, but so long as the landlord has an allowable reason under Civil Code 1954, the tenant is no longer allowed to use the LA County Eviction Moratorium as a reason for denying a landlord access to the property. To put it another way, if a landlord has a valid reason to enter a tenant's unit and has given the tenant valid notice, if the tenant denies the landlord access to the rental property, that is now grounds for an eviction. So landlords, now that we are past June 1st, 2022, if you give your tenant valid notice and enter for a valid reason and the tenant denies that access to you, you now have grounds to commence an unlawful detainer or an eviction case against the tenant. If you found this video helpful and informative, I encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that way you'll get notified when we post new videos. I also encourage you to visit and bookmark our website, attorneydavid.com. We have a very helpful blog on there with a lot of landlord-tenant best practices and articles. You can also schedule a one-on-one consultation if you go to attorneydavid.com. It is a paid consultation, but we'll be able to answer your specific questions that you may have as a landlord. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We do post updates normally almost every day, so that is a good way to get more information for free. Thank you very much.